Hey, good morning, kids. It's Mr. Coyne with District 65, and we have Miss Angela reading today for our Doggy Loo story time. So, let's get started. We'll go ahead and get a match going here. Always practicing careful lighting a fire with adults present. Well, today's Monday, April 20, kids. And I know that we got word that we can't come back to school until the fall. So let's make the best of it here. Mr. Coyne put on his working clothes to do some fun work on my porch. So I'm actually staining today 2x6s and 2x8 cedar boards that will be part of our new porch roof. And at the children's homes, at your homes, there might be projects that your parents would like you to help with. You could always clean windows or help with the garden. Or,
yep, it's good for spring cleaning time.
That's right. And today's going to be a really nice, fun, sunny day. So hopefully there's ways that you guys can be outside and help mom and dad, or mom and mom, or dad and dad, whoever you're living with.
And be sure to stop by if you need food. Today's Monday. And the District 65 and the city collaborate in a food giveaway in 4 different locations through the city. So it starts at 1 and continues until food supplies are exhausted at Mason Park, Cayman Park, Fleetwood Jourdain Center, and the Robert Crown Center.
Wow, that's wonderful. All right, kids, let's settle down. We got 2 cool books to listen to. Body Still, Ears Listening, Eyes Focused, and Voices Quiet. Thanks, Miss Angela.
Thanks. So it's getting warm, and so spring is out, and if you look very carefully outside, you're going to start seeing insects and spiders. And so I brought in, also in celebration of Poetry Month, April is Poetry Month, so I hope you're taking advantage of that and reading lots of poetry and maybe even writing some poetry yourself. So I brought in a poetry book called Flit, Flutter, Fly. It's an anthology. An anthology means a book that is a collection of a lot of different people's work. So this poem is by Carla Ruskin, and it's a short poem. Bugs. I am very fond of bugs. I kiss them and give them hugs. Have you ever hugged a bug? They don't know who wrote this poem. It's by Anonymous. I wish I was a little grub with whiskers round my tummy. I'd climb into a honey pot and make my tummy gummy. And then I'd crawl all over you and make your tummy gummy too. David McCord wrote this poem. Glowworm. Never talk down to a glowworm. Such as, what do you know, worm? How's it down below, worm? Guess you're quite a slow worm. No, just say, hello, worm. Harry Bain wrote this one, Crickets. We cannot say that crickets sing, since all they do is twang a wing. Especially when the wind is still, they orchestrate a sunlit hill. And in the evening blue above, they weave the stars and moon with love. Then peacefully they chirp all night, remembering delight, delight. Oh, spider. How many poems about spiders do you know? I don't know too many. This one is by Lillian Fisher. Please take care, my lady spider, to weave your web a little tighter. Spider babes are very small and look like nothing else at all. So tiny they could slip and fall through webs on ceilings, floor, and wall. Please take care, my lady spider, to weave your web a little tighter. Sandra Liazzo says, a picnic. We had a picnic by the lake. We ate some sandwiches and cake. We munched and crunched until we were through. We liked the taste. The ants did too. This is ant season. I don't know if you've seen any outside or in your house, but it's ant season, so they're up. How about Myra Cole Livingston's poem about snails? Clinging to our stucco wall, holding tight, they never fall. Resting on a zinnia stem, they nibble leaves. I look at them. Tracing their path of sticky slime, wondering where I would climb. If I could ooze a shining trail, if I could travel like a snail. And another snail poem, this one by Langston Hughes, who's one of my favorite poets. Little snail, dreaming you go, weather and rose is all you know. Weather and rose is all you see, drinking the dewdrop's mystery. Fishing by Isabel Jocelyn Glazer. A dragonfly darts over the pond, flashes sudden blue, as if slices of sky fell through the quick nets of its wings. Nothing else, nothing, just me on the bank. And the dragonfly whirly-bugging in the sun, so quiet, I hear how silence sings. That's a freestyle kind of poem. It doesn't rhyme, but it has a rhythm. So what kind of poems do you like best? Do you like the kinds that rhyme, or do you like the freestyle poems? Caterpillar. Oh, you're going to see a lot of those really soon. Brown and furry, caterpillar in a hurry, take your walk to the shady leaf or stalk. May no toad spy you, may the little birds pass by you, spin and die to live again, a butterfly. Another one of my favorite poets, Christina Rossetti. Lillian Fisher again, here's a magic house. Someone's little silken house is hanging by a thread. A brown cocoon looks like a leaf, as shown in books I've read. It swings among the poplar leaves. I watch it and I giggle. Because whatever is inside makes me wiggle, waggle, wiggle. The little home has burst its skin and someone's coming out. Now slowly getting bigger as it twists and turns about. My heart begins to flutter, though I dare not move a hair. Suddenly, like magic, a butterfly is there. How do spiders, ants, ladybugs, bees, butterflies, fireflies, dragonflies, fleas know to crawl, to creep, flitter, flut, fly, as winter comes bitterly chilling the sky? That's by Lee Bennett Hopkins. Oh, and I can't wait till summer when the fireflies arrive. Fireflies, an August night, the wind not quite a wind, the sky, not just a sky, and everywhere the speckled air of summer stars alive in jars. That's by J. Patrick Lewis. And then there's Beverly McClellan's Buggy Love. The light that fireflies create is meant to woo a loving mate. Will you, won't you, yes and no, on and off and touch and go. Buggy love wins with hugs and kisses. Congratulations, Mr. Mrs. What is a butterfly? At best, he's but a caterpillar dressed. That was by Benjamin Franklin. And Aileen Fisher wrote this about bumblebees. I sat as still as a playing dead possum and watched a bee on a clover blossom. Watched him poking his long thin tongue into the blossoms pink and young. Heard him bumble and sort of sneeze as pollen stuck to his two hind knees. I held my breath as the bee buzzed over and hoped I didn't look as sweet as clover. Lee Bennett Hopkins talks about ladybugs. With spots of black on red, she darted through my flower bed, then quickly fled. She fluttered from leaf, her visit far too brief. I wanted her to stay today. That teeny tiny, sheeny, shiny ladybug just took my breath away. Inchworms. Oh, have you seen any of those out yet? Little green inchworm, inchworm, inch. You can't hurt me. You don't pinch. Never did anyone any harm. So take your little green walk up my arm. That's by Dorothy Aldous. And Lillian Moore wrote, hey, bug, stay. Don't run away. I know a game that we can play. I'll hold my finger very still, and you can climb a finger hill. No, no, don't go. Here's a wall, a tower, too. A tiny bug town just for you. I've a cookie. You have some. Take this oatmeal cookie crumb. Hey, bug, stay. Hey, bug, hey. And then I think this is my last poem from Margaret Wise Brown, one of my favorite children's authors. Here we go. I like bugs. Black bugs, green bugs, bad bugs, mean bugs, any kind of bug. A bug in a rug, a bug in the grass, a bug on the sidewalk, a bug in a glass. I like bugs. Round bugs, shiny bugs, fat bugs, buggy bugs, big bugs, ladybugs. I like bugs. So that's Flitter, Flit, Flitter, Flit, Flutter, Fly, tongue twister. And that is an anthology of poetry. And then this book really speaks to me right now. It's called The Butter Battle Book by Dr. Seuss, and it's about people who don't agree. And if you watch the news right now, you're going to see a lot of people don't agree about a lot of things. And this book is Dr. Seuss talking to us about people who don't agree. On the last day of summer, 10 hours before fall, whoops, my grandfather took me out to the wall. For a while he stood silent, then finally he said with a very sad shake of his very old head, as you know, on this side of the wall, we are Yooks. On the far other side of this wall live the Zooks. Then my grandfather said, it's high time you knew of the terrible, horrible thing that Zooks do. In every Zook house and in every Zook town, every Zook eats his bread with the butter side down. But we Yooks, as you know, when we breakfast or sup, we spread our bread with the butter side up. That's the right, honest way. Grandpa gritted his teeth. You can't trust a Zook who spreads butter underneath. Every Zook must be watched. He has kinks in his soul. That's why, as a youth, I made watching my goal. Watching Zooks for the Zook watching border patrol. In those days, of course, the wall wasn't so high, and I could look any Zook square in the eye. If he dared to come close, I could give him a twitch with my tough-tufted, prickly snickberry switch. See, there he is on patrol. I don't know. Yooks and Zooks don't look that different to me. For a while, that worked fine, and the Zooks stayed away, and our country was safe. Then one terrible day, a very rude Zook by the name of Van Itch snuck up and he slingshotted my snickberry switch. Well, with my broken off switch, with my head hung in shame, to the chief Yookaroo in great sorrow I came. But our leader just smiled. He said, you're not to blame, and those Zooks will be sorry they started this game. We'll dress you up right in a fancier suit. We'll give you a fancier slingshot to shoot. And he ordered the boys in the back room to figure how to build me some sort of triple sling jigger. With my, oh wow, look at that. With my triple sling jigger, I sure felt much bigger. So I marched to the wall with great vim and great vigor, right up to Van Itch with my hand on the trigger. I'll have no more nonsense, I said with a frown, from Zooks who eat their bread with the butter side down. Van Itch looked quite sickly, and he ran off quite quickly. But I'm unhappy to say he came back the next day with a spiffy new suit and a big new machine, and he snarled as he said, looking frightfully mean, "You may fling those hard rocks with your triple sling jigger, but I now also have my hand on a trigger. My wonderful weapon, the jigger rock snatch 'em, will fling 'em right back just as quick as we catch 'em. We'll have no more nonsense. We'll take no more gup from you yooks who eat bread with the butter side up." "I have failed, sir," I sobbed as I made my report to the chief yookaroo in the headquarter fort. He laughed. "You've done nothing of the sort. Our slingshots have failed. That was old-fashioned stuff. Slingshots, dear boy, are not modern enough. All we need is some new-fangled kind of a gun. And me boys in the back room have already begun dreaming up a walloping whiz-zinger one. My bright boys are thinking they're on the right track. They'll think one up quick, and we'll send you right back." Well, they thought up a great one. They certainly did. They thought up a gun called the Kickapoo Kid, which they loaded with powerful poodoo powder. It's ants' eggs and bees' legs and deep-fried clam chowder. And they carefully trained a smart dog named Daniel to serve as our country's first gun-toting spaniel. Then Daniel, the Kickapoo Spaniel, and I marched back towards the wall with our heads held up high. Well, everyone cheered, and their cheers filled the sky. "Fight, fight for the butter side up, do or die." Well, we didn't do, and we didn't quite die. But we sure did get worsted, poor Daniel and I. Van Itch was there too, and he said, "That old pig, the boys in my back room invented this rig. It's called the 8-nozzled elephant-toted Boom Blitz, and it shoots high-explosive sour cherry stone pits, and it will put your Kickapoo Kid in the fritz." Poor Daniel and I were scared out of our wits. Once more, by Van Itch, I was bested and beat. Once more, I limped home from the wall in defeat. I dragged, and I sagged, and my spirits were low as I thought they ever could go. But then I heard a boom-ba and a diddle-dee-dill, and our butter-up band marched up over the hill. The chief yookaroo had sent them to meet me along with the right-side-up song girls to greet me, and they sang, "Oh, be faithful, believe in thy butter," and they lifted my spirits right out of the gutter. "Oh, my boy," said the chief yookaroo, "we just voted and made you a general. You've been promoted. Your pretty new uniform's ready. Get in it. The big war is coming. You're going to begin it. And what's more, this time you're certain to win it. My boys in the back room have finally found how. Just wait till you see what they've puttered up now. In their great new machine, you'll fly over that wall and clobber those buttered down zooks once and all." Those boys in the back room, they sure knew how to putter. They made me a thing called the utterly sputter. And I jumped aboard with my heart all aflutter, and I steered towards the land of upside-down butter. This machine was so modern, so frightfully new, no one knew exactly what it would do. But it had several faucets that sprinkled blue goo, which somehow would sprinkle the zooks as I flew and gum up that upside-down butter they chew. I was racing pell-mell when I heard a voice yell, "If you sprinkle us zooks, you'll get sprinkled as well." Van Itch had a sputter exactly like mine, and he yelled, "My blue gooer is working just fine, and I'm here to say that if yooks can goo zooks, you better forget it, 'cause zooks can goo yooks." I flew right back home, and as you may have guessed, I was downright despondent, disturbed, and depressed. And I saw just as soon as I stepped back on land, so were all of the girls of the butter-up band. The chief drum majorette, Miss Yuki Ann Sue, said that was a pretty sour flight that you flew. And the chief yookaroo is looking for you. I raced to his office. The place was a sight. "Have no here," said the chief. "Everything is all right. My bright backroom boys have been brighter than bright. They've thought up a gadget that's newer than new. It's filled with a mysterious moo-lack-a-moo. And they can blow all those zooks clear to Salamagoo. They've invented the Bitsy Boy Big Boomeroo. You just run to the wall like a nice little man. Drop this bomb on the zooks just as fast as you can. I've ordered the yooks to stay safe underground when the Bitsy Big Boy Boomeroo is around." See, top secretest brain nest over here and all their notes. Something happened. Made a big mess. "As I raced for that wall with this bomb in my hand, I noticed every last yook in our land was obeying the Chief Yookaroo's grim command. Your yookery, go down below. They were all bravely marching with banners of Flutter down a hole for their country for right side up butter. That's when Grandfather found me. He grabbed me. He said, 'You should be down that hole, and you're up here instead.' Perhaps this is all for the better somehow. You'll see me make history. You'll see it right now." Grandpa leapt up that wall with a lopulous leap, and he cleared his hoarse throat with a bopulous beep. He screamed, "Here! The end of your terrible town full of zooks who eat bread with the butter side down." And at that very instant, he heard a clip-clop of feet on the wall, and Van Itch clumped up. The boys in his back room had made him one too. In his fist was another big boy boomeroo. "I'll blow you up into pork and wee beans. I'll butter side up you to small smithereens." "Grandpa," I shouted, "be careful. Oh, gee, who's going to drop it? Will you or with he?" "Be patient," said Grandpa. "We'll see. We will see." The end. What do you think's going to happen? Do you think they're going to get rid of everybody because they can't stop arguing? Was there a different way they could have solved the problem between butter side up and butter side down? Think about it.
Thank you, Miss Angela. As you were reading this wonderful story about people who put their butter on top of their toast or on below their toast, and how they allowed themselves to have a wall between them because of that really ridiculous difference. Right. Couldn't help but think about this virus thing in the world. And I guess my question is more of who owns the air? We're all breathing, humans that is, regardless of where we're from or what our age is. You know, some of us are from South Korea, and some are from Kenya, and some are from Mississippi, and some are from Australia. But all of us, I think, breathe air.
We have to.
But who owns the air? Is it human air? Is it the Earth's air? And is there a way for us to maybe dissolve some of these walls that separate us because we all have to breathe the same air?
Well, I think that this virus has been very interesting. Been walking, and I said, I've seen a lot of science that like together we'll get through this. And that is actually really very true. When you have something like this that is global, this virus doesn't care where you live. It doesn't care how many walls you build. It can go right over them. Since everybody has to breathe, nobody can not breathe. The virus affects everyone, and scientists and people are having to work. You know, some of the masks that we have are made in other countries. Some of the medications and the techniques that to help people who get the virus come from other countries. Scientists all over the world are working on vaccines in labs all over the world, and they're having to share their ideas in ways that they never had to share before. And the solution for this is only going to happen if we all work together. Because the virus doesn't care how old you are, what your nationality is, who you love, how rich you are, how poor you are. It affects everybody. They don't know, it affects people all very differently, but they don't know why. And we're all going to have to work together to get through this, to get to the other side. And so collaboration is something. I think this book is very interesting. It was originally published a very long time ago, in 1984. And I think that the issues that Dr. Seuss was talking about are still very important issues even today. And it's really important for us to think about the different ways that we can work together instead of the ways that we're different and don't get along.
Thank you so much, Miss Angela. Kids, this is our time to end our Doggy Loo Storytime. We'll be back again Tuesday. But I believe both Miss Angela and I looked at out our windows and looked at the weather report, and it looks like it's going to be a sunny, nice day for a good chunk of time. So with your parents' permission and your abilities, if you can, get outside and do something. Breathe the fresh air.
Look for bugs.
Yeah, look for bugs or clean some windows or do some gardening. There might be projects that your moms or dads would like some help with, and you could be creative and help them out. Mr. Coyne will be staining 2x6s and 2x8 cedar boards, so that's what I'll be doing outside. And Miss Angela, you'll be passing out food.
I'll be giving out food over at Cayman Park, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty.
Be well, everybody.